Video, I'll share with you the exact morning routine that allowed me to sell for over $1 million at 21 years old in remote sales. Exactly step by step what I did so you after watching the video can implement the same routine and be able to make way more money and be more successful as a result of that. Before we get into this, I want to tell you, because you probably hear all these people online, all these gurus telling you need to do cold showers in the morning, you need to do this, you need to do that. And this is not going to be one of those videos where I'm going to tell you like this is what you should do, this is exactly like the best routine to change your life in the next 6 months, blah blah blah. I think most of that stuff is BS, and to understand why that's the case and understand what you should actually do, like what your morning routine should actually look like, you need to understand what I'm explaining to you in this video, because most people get this wrong, and I used to get this completely wrong myself. I used to think for a long ass time that like the routines, the habits, and like just like the day-to-day life of millionaires, that was the most important thing. I was looking at all these like YouTube videos of like the multi-millionaire morning routine, the 5 a.m. club, all that shit, you know? And I was like, if I can just get this morning routine dialed in, I'm gonna be rich. And I had all the shit, you know, I had like this 4-hour long fucking morning routine where I worked out for like 1.5 hours, meditated for half an hour, journaled, and like did all these crazy things before I actually started working. And I was tired when I was gonna start working. And then I went from that to removing my routine completely, and I did basically like no morning routine at all. And that put me in a position where I was like I wasn't really able to perform at all, because I wasn't meditating, I wasn't actually sleeping properly, I had a lot of different things that was not dialed in. So in this video I explained to you exactly like how to find a balance in between, and like what you should do to find something that's actually gonna work for you. Because the first thing you need to understand is exactly that, like not the same thing is gonna work for you as for someone else. You might hear like Alex Hormozi tell you that like you should just fuck your routine, just wake up and drink coffee and get to work. And that might work really, really well for him. But I know a bunch of people that would never perform with a routine like that, because they need to have some sort of structure in their morning. So just because it works for someone who's really successful doesn't mean that it works for you. Even though like my routine works well for me, because I wake up in the morning, I read through some stuff, I listen to like some successful calls that I had in the past, I meditate, I go outside, and I start working. That works for me, but that doesn't mean that it's gonna work for you. So I'll walk you through the framework of how to actually decide for yourself what's gonna like make sense for you. But first of all, you need to understand is like for some people, if you lack structure in your life, if you're used to like just playing video games and just like fucking around, you probably need a very strict morning routine. You know, you probably need to like really get some structure in place in your life, like get your mind straight in order for you to be able to work. Realize that's the most important thing, is like the focus and the aim of what you're trying to achieve with a morning routine is just setting yourself up to be able to work in the best way possible. So obviously, like ideally, if you don't have to have any morning routine, that's the best case, you know, because in that case you can just work. Let's say you could just wake up in the morning and have perfect like mental clarity, no distraction, not a distracted mind. You have like a perfect mind, and you can just work for like 10 hours straight. That would be ideal, you know, because the more work you can do, the more money you're gonna make. You know, that's where you actually make the money. Because that's the first thing you need to get, is like the morning routine isn't making you money. The morning routine is preparing you to start working. But what's actually gonna allow you to make money is by just working, you know? So you wanna do like as little as possible before you start working, like the minimum that's actually gonna give you effect. For example, for me, what I found is like I mentioned before, is like meditation. That's a huge thing for me. I notice when I meditate, I ultimately make more money, you know, because I have a more calm, peaceful mind. I don't get distracted as easily. I'm able to just focus on the stuff that I'm doing, my work. I don't have like shiny object syndrome as much, and I'm more calm, I'm more relaxed. I don't act on my emotions as much. All that stuff happens when I meditate, you know. So you want to find these small things, you know, these habits, these things like meditation, maybe journaling, things like that really make a huge difference, you know. Where you notice like if you add this in or you remove it, it's like a night and day difference. Those are the things that you want to keep. So I think the best process to go through to kind of figure this out is just like adding in multiple different things and then trying out like removing something, maybe adding in like cold showers, meditation, journaling, and like what's it called, like manifestation and like things like that. And then you try to remove some stuff some days and add some stuff in some other days, and you see what really sticks, like what really affects your life to a big extent. I think that's one of the first main things you can really try out, and like actionable advice to get this going, you know, because you will notice very quickly what's gonna really impact your life. For example, for me, when I don't meditate one day, I feel like complete like I feel like a different person, you know. I don't focus as well. My emotions have way more control over me than I would like to. Like all these things happen when I don't meditate in the morning. And that's something I noticed, obviously. In that case, like meditation is still beneficial for me to do. And it's something that's gonna be like worth to put in 20 minutes in the morning to meditate, because it has such a big impact on the rest of my day. And those are the things you wanna pick out, you know. So one other thing is like I would avoid to, as like, if you can, ultimately I would definitely avoid working out in the morning, because in my opinion, like if you work out in the morning, you're gonna just shoot yourself in the foot, and you're gonna have a less productive day of working. You're gonna be less energized. You're gonna be more tired if you actually work out hard. That is, you're gonna be less likely to actually show up and like perform well during the day, compared to if you just grind with work all day long and then work out in the evening. So that's what, like a quick tip in there. But like really overall, like the concept you need to understand is like try different things out. Just because one person says that like they have this 4-hour routine and they make a shit ton of money with that, doesn't mean that that's gonna be the right thing for you. Maybe if you're super disciplined, if you're like used to being able to, like you can wake up in the morning and you don't have any issues like working hard without a routine. You don't need to add in like a routine just because someone else is doing it, you know? I think the main thing I want to try to get across here is like you have the freedom of deciding what you want to do, you know? You don't have to do something just because someone who's making millions of dollars is doing it. It's work for them, it's work for him or her, wherever you're watching. But it doesn't mean that that's what you should do. You need to figure out what's gonna be working for you. And this is what's helped me, because like I used to be the one who was like, okay, if this guy is making this amount of money, I should just do the exact same thing, and that's how we get the same results. But you need to realize the reason why they are making the money is because of the actions they're taking inside of their business. You know, the content they're posting, the business model that they're doing, the amount of work ethic that they have. Those things are the reason why they make the money, not because they wake up at a specific hour or they do the specific routine. And that's gonna be probably very freeing to hear as well. Like, this was for me. When I heard this, I was like, shit, like I can remove all this pressure from myself. I don't need to feel like this huge pressure to like wake up at this hour and do all this shit to perform. As long as I just do the work and I find a routine that fits me, I'm gonna be fine, you know? And this comes from just like removing like the kind of the importance that you put to all this. If you put all this importance to waking up at a certain hour and like doing this crazy morning routine, and you think that I need to do this in order to be successful, then you will convince yourself and then you will self-destruct if you don't do the routine. But if you remove importance from that stuff and you don't think that this is so important, like I don't actually need a morning routine to perform, you become way more powerful, you have more freedom, and you prove to yourself that you can perform regardless of how you feel and regardless if you have the routine or not. And I think that is when you're the most powerful, and that's when you will succeed regardless of the circumstances, you know? Because the last thing that I want to be, at least, and probably for you as well watching this video, you don't want to be the person who's dependent on perfect sleep or like the perfect routine and all that shit to be able to perform. Not even like meditation or like these things that I mentioned that I do. I don't want to be dependent on it. It's something that I know makes me more productive, and I know it's something that's beneficial for me to do, but I'm not dependent on it. That's a bit of a different story, but that's not something you don't want to become dependent on anything, because then you're like your bare minimum becomes like you need to have this thing in place to even perform at bare minimum. You know, if, for example, if you're addicted to coffee, which a lot of people are, is like if you don't have coffee, then you can't even perform at bare minimum. You know, which is a huge it's like a handicap for you, pretty much. You know, so you don't want to do that. But back to the point here is setting up your morning routine. How do you lay it out? Test different things. See what actually has the biggest impact on your day-to-day life. What really matters. Remove everything else. You don't want to have a lot of like meaningless shit. Realize that the only thing that actually matters is you doing the work. Like working in the business, whatever you're trying to do, if you're getting into remote sales, doing your outreach to companies and like getting better, role playing and things like that. If you're trying to do something else, just like doing those actions, that's gonna allow you to grow the business or whatever you're trying to do right now. That's what actually matters. And your morning routine should be supporting that, but it shouldn't be taking away from that whatsoever. So that's really all I want to show you in this video. If you want my help to actually like get coaching from me one-on-one, work with me, be part of my community where we talk about stuff like this, and be able to learn remote sales, start making money from remote sales in the next 30, 69 days or so, and get my coaching, get the blueprint, the support, opportunities, like everything that I've helped multiple guys now to go from zero to landing a role in just a couple of weeks. If you want that help, click the top link in the description, book a call with me, and then you'll talk with me directly, not some like random sales guy. You have a call with me, I'll walk you through exactly how it works, and if it makes sense, you can actually start working with me and I can invite you into the mentorship. So if you're interested in that, click the link and I'll talk with you on a call. If not, no worries regardless. Leave me a comment what you think down below about the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on the future videos, because I'm gonna keep posting videos here every single freaking day. So stay tuned, don't miss out on the videos, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Ciao, ciao, ciao.